I'm hiking my feelings, working with all the natural healing. We are the makers of lives in our community, working to set myself free while I'm hiking my feelings. Hiking my feelings.
What do you think about that?
Amazing. I cannot
Isn't
get
it?
enough.
Sustainable with your food, you know, especially we don't know how times will come when it comes to food resources. So the best thing will be grains, and even the Bible says how the importance of eating your grains from sprouting, like the Ezekiel breads and things like that. You know, they're from sprouting, and you can tell this was a brand new bag, and how much I could have gotten from here versus how much I yield from here. And we already used it in many, many dishes, right? Also, can you imagine? I mean, bags normally come out 70% or 80%, right? So, you know, it looks like 60%, but look at, we can fill it back and it will like overflow. And tomorrow is gonna be even bigger if we don't touch it. So that's the beauty about making more food from something so little. Or even these, you know, the fenugreek, you know, seeds, it was probably like one thumb of seeds. And then it grew into a beautiful garden, right? Now, what about the nutritional fenugreek?
Fenugreek.
Yes, it's an Indian seed that is so good for hair, respiratory, digestion, cancer. Yeah, yeah. If you can open it and pass it around, yeah. So it's very digestive. So I like it because again, you know, like it was in a medium-sized bag that so little produces so much. And you can use it for the bruscheras, you know, the beet bruscheras, or on top of the soup, or anything that you want to garnish. So, so mainly what you want is to start collecting glass as much as you can. It can be something as fancy as this with their holes lids, if you want to spend like $10, or something, you know, if you want to just do mason jars, or always repurpose or reuse your pasta glasses, and then all you need is glass containers, water, and the seeds. So I will start with lentils first because they are the easiest to sprout. And then monks are the next ones, and of course, you know, fenugreek. The one that I would stay away from mainly would be garbanzo and maybe like sunflower and things like that because they tend to rotten faster from the bacteria that depends on the environment, okay? So you can also go to the health food store and get like a multi-seed blend. So this is called the sandwich blend. So I'm gonna pass it around so you can see. So you can sprout just with glass and water, or you can also sprout out of a beautiful container that you can also reuse, repurpose. You fill it up with dirt, or maybe a can of tuna or something like that, and dirt from around here. I brought these ones empty, so I'm like, oh yeah, let's do a project. And then put the seeds, water it. Actually, these are gentle or delicate, so it's ideally to water it through an atomizer, okay? So I'm gonna pass it around so you can see how the babies are coming out. So you want always cover them if you're gonna be doing out of the dirt. And then I'll explain about the water and the glass. And then within days, depends of the humidity, the heat and so forth of the environment, you'll see it grow within hours, okay? So very simple, what you wanna do, always less is better because if you're like, oh, I'm gonna fill it up halfway of the seeds and then fill it up twice as much of water, in the morning, this is gonna vomit out of the seeds, technically. You know, I've seen it before where, you know, like the container is too small for that, right? So always go below, like maybe like 1/3 of seeds, and then twice as much of water. So I'll just do the demo right here, right now.
Red clover, alfalfa, and radish.
So something like this, in less than a week, is gonna fill the whole container. So you wanna twice as much of water.
Just regular water.
Yeah, filtered water ideally. Yeah, this is a good source of water. Then what you do, you wanna cover it with something that can breathe. So either this one is a fermented lid or something that has holes. Now in Fresno, I have to have a napkin below and put that one on top because I have a lot of mosquitoes or one of those fruit mosquitoes or fruit flies. So you have to protect it, and then keep it in a place where maybe it gets enough light from the window, but not direct light from the sun. Okay, and also kind of like room temperature, not too extreme. And then the next day, within 24 hours or less, you're gonna rinse it. So you're gonna remove the water. Then you're gonna find that spot that has enough light on the window, and you wanna do it more like spread. So I have all kinds. I normally have like 10 different kinds of seeds, and then I like to do them like alternation with time-wise. When I arrive, these were already soaked, but I normally like to do one seed one day, the next day or every other day another seed. That way they kind of gel in different timings, and I use them throughout the week or throughout the project I will be working on. Now, if this is the size of the sprouting that I want, then I put it in the fridge and it becomes dormant. And I've seen it last me up to a month. People say, no more than 2 weeks, but I've seen it last me like way longer. So what you want to do after 24 hours, rinse it, and then the next day you continue rinse it and rinse it. And my experience when the weather is neutral, not too hot, not too cold, is that you can even rinse it like every other day or even longer. As long as you keep an eye and always smelling it. Okay, so go ahead and smell it. You're gonna smell the humidity and a little bit of, like the fermentation kind of. Yeah.
You rinse it after you put it in the fridge or the whole time, every day?
Yeah, the whole time before you decide to put it on dormant.
Oh, okay.
So then, even sometimes I've started like 3 days and they're not fully sprouted, and I know I'm gonna be traveling, so I put it in the dormant refrigerator, and then if I come back like in 3-4 days, I come back and continue the process. So you can interrupt the process, which is fun.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you put water in, rinse it, and then let it do its thing again.
Exactly. So don't dam it after the 24 hours. So you only drowned it within the first 24 hours, rinse it, and make sure it's not a lot of humidity. And then every 24 hours or 48 hours, you continue rinsing and rinsing. If the weather is super hot, like pretty soon in Fresno, then I've done it even twice a day, sometimes.
Twice a day.
Mexicali, sometimes they die on me because Mexicali gets up to 120. So, you can just go with that. Now, I'm going to rinse it right now so you can see the cloudiness of that water and what you can do with that water. Okay, you can do 2 things, very important things. Especially lentil water is the best hormonal for your plants. So if you are like a believer that you don't have a green thumb, believe me, your belief is going to change because it's going to be like a beautiful way of sprouting faster. And it can also be medicinal. Like especially fenugreek water, it's considered Rejuvelac. It's a French word, and believe me, it's the only French word I know. So I don't know if you can figure out what that means. Rejuvelac in Latin means youthfulness. So it's a great way to add prebiotic, probiotic, and cosmobiotic, which enhances your emotional well-being, your mental health, and things like that. So I'm going to show you how cloudy it will get. And what I normally do with this water, if it's not going to my garden, I use it for chai tea or like lemonade and things like that. And again, it's fermented water. So let it sit for a moment, or let me see, maybe here, since it's a clean one. So normally like shake it. see it's on the yellow side. Just like that, it will taste very like Indian plain tea. But again, you know, you can add your honey, your lemon, or your cayenne pepper. Or if I'm doing a cleanse, then I use it and I add the salt enough to give me like a flush, and it's amazing. So it has many, many benefits. Okay. So any questions on how to sprout?
You do the rinse at least once a day or every?
Depends on how the weather. San Diego, you know, is the perfect weather. I even can buy with like every other day.
Okay. Okay. And then how long? What is the duration of the rinse days?
Depends of the seed, so you can either Google it, or sometimes when you buy something like this, it costs me like $8, this container. It comes with a tag or a label, and it says for, you know, like lentils, you know, you do it for between 3 to 7 days, it's already with chlorophyll, or, you know, fully sprouted or whatever, you know. So, you know, it tells you kind of like the yielding box of information. So yeah. And there's a lot of videos also on YouTube and, you know, TikTok about more details. Like if you have a particular seed that you want to start yielding, yeah. But again, you know, start with these three, and you'll be amazed of how strong you're gonna feel. Like, yeah, I can do that. So, any other questions, probably before I move into the tepache?
For this here, when you do you keep it like this? Or then it starts
Yeah, that
growing?
way it kind of like spreads and gets more light.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna move into the tepache. So tepache is a Mexican fermented dish that started with other fruit than pineapple. I forgot which particular fruit, but then became very popular a couple years ago, a couple decades ago, when people start utilizing the skin of the pineapple because it has a lot of bacteria in it, a good bacteria, kind of like what's the other one? It's a wild fruit that the one that you saw that was red is normally blackish. Elderberry. You know, like if you pay attention to the elderberry, it has like a coat of whitish. So that's wild yeast. So you want to use wild yeast or wild bacteria that will enhance your gut. Because most of you know that mental health starts in your gut. Because your second brain is right here. So pay attention to intuitive cravings. Why are you craving chocolate? Or why are you craving kombucha and that kind of thing? Okay? So as simple as water, some kind of sugar, honey or your favorite sugar, and the leftovers or the skin of the pineapple. You can also use the meat of the pineapple, and then, you know, like when we were serving and whatever leftovers were, you know, like the strawberries, they were here. You know, like nothing went to waste. These guys, blackberries, and so forth. So literally, we were just using it as a compost, but in a good compost way to the gut, right? So as you can see, so it's almost like a fruit cocktail or fruit punch.
That's
Yeah,
gross.
and I already tasted, so I already like, wow, amazing.
I drink that.
Can, yeah, oh yeah. We'll make it into a like lemonade. And you know what? We can actually add this water into here to make it even more.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I kind of would like for you guys to have a cup so I can serve you the before and after of the tepache.
So do you want to make sure that the pineapple is organic?
Yes,
You don't, because they'll probably spray it.
exactly, yes. So I'm just gonna serve you a little bit, enough to like taste the first one.
And how long have you had that sitting?
Did we start it yesterday or the day before yesterday? My
We
brain has been
started
like,
it the day before yesterday.
Okay.
We added the berries from yesterday to
yep,
it.
got it.
And it is just water and the berries and the skin?
And the sugar.
Sugar.
Sugar is going to activate the yeast from the fruits.
It's like office space.
Yeah. So then now I've seen comparisons about what's better, kombucha, kefir, or tepache. And tepache is like the king of the prebiotic, probiotic, and cosmobiotic. Okay, and you already know I cannot do simple things. So, so I added cinnamon stick, which you're gonna see here. Star anise, which is amazing. Go ahead and pass it around. So good to tighten your skin. So if your vanity is at its best, start doing that. Clove is so good for digestion. It can even kill H. pylori and so many other bacteria. So yeah,
Pass it down.
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. See, this smells like dog licorice to me.
Well, that's a neat.
Yeah.
A lot's coming at me at once.
Everybody here.
Sorry.
I know.
So try to drink it mindfully. Smell it first. Look at the color, and even make sound, like stir it. Yeah, and then when you're ready, don't drink it. You sip it and put it in your mouth. Make it salivate. So that's a great way to start doing things mindfully too.
You can actually hear it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like a caracol. Who else?
Bubbling, it's like listening to the ocean.
Yeah. So again, it's like they call it the Mexican champagne. So, and the other thing to make it sound like if you have a glass of wine and stuff, the other way, one of the reasons the Italians they say cheers. So one more time. So you can activate the senses of the hearing. So go ahead and find your partner and connect with the eyes and say cheers. Awesome. Cheers. Eye to eye. Cheers. Now it's pretty rich, right? It's very like.
Yeah.
So now what I'm gonna very concentrate. It's like a nectar. So I'm gonna like massage it to make sure. I like that. And then, yes, you are. Yep, that's part of the plan. Yep. Yep. So then once you massage it,
What are you
then
saying to it?
yes, infuse your intentions. Who has seen the movie La Guarda for Chocolate?
I know you just remind me of that whole movie.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. It's a great movie, a great book.
Yeah.
So, La Guarda for Chocolate. Yeah, amazing. It was released probably like 30 years ago. Yeah, one of the best movies back then. So then once you massage it, now at home I have an emulsifier, a hand blender. So imagine that you're doing that. So you emulsify it as much as you can. And then of course, once you know everything is ready, you remove the compost to a container and give it to your plants, right? Now, what kind of water are you going to use? Of course, filtered water, possibly spring water. So this is the spring water. I filter this for the first time, so I feel like an expert.
So we got milk, creek water?
Yes, look at right here.
Oh my God.
Wow.
We had our feet in that. But it doesn't matter because we filtered it.
Yes.
Thank you, Sawyer.
And for the request, I'm just gonna do half of it, so later you can get to taste it as a mini lemonade type of thing. So, oh yeah, it has a little hint of smell. So again, now you're making medicine for your gut.
Drooling. Like, my mouth is like so wet.
Yeah.
Are there better words? I'm not sure. It was just the fruit.
Originally it was the water, sugar, and the fruit. And it can be layered, like maybe like if tomorrow there's more leftovers fruit, like the dragon fruit, you can go here. Now I have a client that when we do events, she takes this and she put it on a container and add more sugar. So she treated it like a mother, like a starter. So she said that she has lasted her like for 7 months activation. It makes sense to me, So I just like give it to the plant because, in a week I'm going to be using more of pineapples and things like that. So, all right. So we'll see how is the sweetness to it. You might want to add honey or sugar, whatever. We'll see how it tastes right now.
So this, you say compostable vegetables, but if they're too far past, you're not gonna use it with this. They have to be fairly right in the middle? Right?
The fruits.
Yeah,
You can also do green ones, you know, like the ones
Yeah.
that, yeah.
but not overly ripe that really just need to be composted.
Actually, they are the best. When they are like even I've done it banana peels that they're like almost black. I put it here, and these becomes like a Hefeweizen, because you know beers are made with. I mean, Hefeweizen are made with the skin of the pineapple. I mean, banana. And even though this is not a beer or a wine, it will possibly, like within a week or so, if you let it, it either will become some kind of fermented drink up to like 1% alcohol, and or cider, not cider, apple. Yeah, cider. Yeah, pineapple. Well,
Like a hard cider,
yeah, so it will become like something that you can cook with, or you know.
like a vinegar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, the vinegar part of it. So again, you know, all these can become a mother.
Like your own fruit cider vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
you know,
you've got like the squishy raspberries or like the squishy peach that like you forgot it in the fridge. Chuck it in here.
chuck it in there. Mhm.
Love it.
Yeah, just remove if there's any like
If it's, like-
bacteria or you know like any kind of thing that just remove it. But yeah, anything that is overly ripe is even better because they are at its highest on their sugars.
And it should be refrigerated when it's fermenting.
So you want to make sure it's fermented for at least 3 days
Yeah.
in room temperature. After 3 days, if you don't want it to become vinegar, then you put it in the fridge and then it stops the fermentation of pretty much anything. But again, you know, like can you imagine, I mean, your brain is like super active by, oh, now I'm going to hike and harvest,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I got.
Because it's like,
Oh, Barry
so-
doesn't even know about how many glass jars I need to find room for. I'm like, I don't need clothes. I like it. It's fine.
Yes.
We need glass jars in the van. I gotta sprout some stuff.
yeah. The van is,
You can do this with ginger and honey, and then you
yes.
have like effervescent. Your ginger drink can be like an
Have you put
effervescent,
ginger in
like
it?
bubble.
I have not on this one, but I have put ginger. Actually, I always put ginger except today. Yes, because I only brought enough ginger
Kristen from the
for the kitchery. Yeah.
does that.
Okay, so I think that's enough for the. See, look at that. So smell it. Pass it around if you don't mind. Do you mind passing it around?
Yeah, honey or shorter. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And you just leave it. You just let it sit. This one's the same kind of thing after a couple days, starts getting fizzy. Could be a nice summer.
So again, this one is not filtered. I just like to chew into like a fruit drink.
So question, if you're mindful of your sugar intake, but you are interested in the benefits of fermentation, like what's the balance of, is this more beneficial because it's fermented so the sugar kind of like works itself out? Or like what, how do you, am I asking this right? You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
So the yeast will eat the sugar and will use it for the fermentation process.
Right.
So it becomes like a super amazing, healthy bomb for your gut.
Cool.
Yeah. So the sweetness is actually the flavors of the fruit, but the sugar glucose from whatever source you're getting, it will, regardless if it's organic honey or organic sugar or the worst sugar, I still try to find less than the worst,
Yeah.
just for my own peace of mind.
Right.
But the quality of the sugar that you'll be is be gone because the microorganisms, and they will.
Feeding on it. Yeah.
So again, you know, it's just your
They
money
eat-
wisely.
They eat the sugar and the byproduct is the fizz.
Exactly.
So
Huh?
they poop both.
So again, I'm gonna pass it around, and again, it will have some chunks of fruit, and that's okay if you don't mind. Pass it around and then serve yourself. Then, Barry, if you don't mind giving me like a 1 or 2 mineral waters, so you know you're gonna see how you're gonna upgrade it. So again, it's all about upgrading things like that. Now, if I had essential oils with me right now, handy, I will maybe put like a 1 or 2 drop of peppermint for digestion, or lemon for uplifting my mental clarity, basil for people that have lost their sense of smell. So there's so many good properties that you can actually like upgrade it. Okay, so this is when you're about to serve it at a wedding or any kind of venue to make it more bubbly. Okay, so we'll
started out, like you have fruit and then you just, how much like water or how much honey would you add? Like,
Yep.
you just need a drizzle of honey or do you need like?
The formula changes. I call it formula, but recipes. Whoever is making it, because it's a homemade remedy. I find it to do like 10% of sweetener, sugar, honey, then the amount of fruit, and then I just top it with water enough to where like it's not like
Surface level?
Okay. And then I let it ferment it in a kind of like pulp version. Then once 3 days or so, taste it, and then I start diluting it to the taste of how I feel that day, or whoever likes, some people like it sweeter or more diluted, or I might have like a Italian soda, or I might have a mezcal that I want to like upgrade it, be more social drink and stuff like that. So, or even if you want to do like half of Tepache and half of champagne, it will be like an amazing mimosa. I've done this with blood oranges too. So yeah.
This is something I could see myself doing.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah.
Can you use agave?
Yes. So whatever, if your glycemic index, wants to be low or high or whatever. But again, at the end of the 3 days, the yeast will like disappear. Whatever you put has a fuel. Okay. So now we're gonna upgrade it with the mineral water. Oops. Let me put more mineral water.
And so kombucha is
Can you open it for me?
very similar, but kombucha has that SCOBY, and this
Uh-huh.
obviously doesn't.
Okay, so I've done kombucha. I've done kombucha. I've done the other one, kefir, and I even have taken classes on how to make beer, how to make wine, and so many other things. And the easiest thing, and the one that reflects my personality, because I don't like to waste anything. I like to make sure I use everything to the end of the composting, is Tepache. And Tepache is the king of fermentation when it comes to probiotics, prebiotics, and cosmobiotics.
Does it start with the T, Tepache?
Tepache?
Tepache.
Tepache. Now, you can also buy them at the store, but it's pasteurized. And again, kills the momentum.
It's like Tepache, but okay.
I'm gonna put it here. Oh, look at! I just had a bite of the star anise. Oh my God, so amazing! And I know it will hit my vanity because it's good for tightening your skin and so many other things. So, salud again. Any other question?
Mostly fruit, not really vegetables.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't do vegetables because vegetables don't yield sugar fermentation.
Is it jicama?
Yes, that's jicama.
So you said 3 days with the water, the fruit, and the sugar source, and then you squeeze it out.
Or you can emulsify it if you want to really get it more like a pulp, and then you strain it. Or if you have like a piece of fabric and you squeeze it. And even with the fiber, if you know that it's an amazing source of food, you can even make more type of fermentation, which I'm gonna like hit real quick before dinner. What you can do with the second waste. Or you can even make cookies, or who knows? I mean, like the
So
sky
after you
is.
strain it though, the juice that you use, you refrigerate that then to stop
Yes,
the
to stop the fermentation,
And then
especially,
you can add stuff to it,
Yep.
like the sprout water or the bubbly water.
or champagne or mezcal or whatever you feel like upgrading it. And also like, but if for some reason you go on a road trip and you forgot to it and you're gonna come home with what did we say? The fermented apple vinegar. You will have vinegar. Because I had experiences, especially with elderberry. I totally forgot to put it back into temperature, and now I have elderberry vinegar, which my clients love it because I mix it with Brax amino acids, liquid smoke, and equal parts of the elderberry. I can't think of that word. I just said it. The vinegar, those three, and it's like the best thing to season or saute your vegetables.